As we've just discussed, the body paragraphs of your rhetorical critique have a big job to do. These are the paragraphs where you will provide evidence in the form of quotes from the text you are analyzing that explain what rhetorical devices you found. You should organize the body paragraphs of your essay so that each paragraph explains one of the rhetorical devices or appeals in your thesis statement. For example, let's say your thesis stated that the author used a combination of pathos, ethos, and logos to persuade their audience that social media is hindering the communication skills of children. Your first body paragraph would then discuss and provide examples of ethos found in the text. The next would discuss and provide examples of pathos, and the next logos. Before you begin explaining each rhetorical device, however, you need to follow the introduction paragraph with another contextualizing paragraph. The first paragraph that follows the introduction paragraph should contain, as this slide says, the author's purpose and target audience, as well as a short summary of the author's argument. As you can see here, this is an example of the first paragraph after the introduction, how it could look. Feel free to pause this video and take notes or make note of how this paragraph is formatted for your own writing. After this paragraph, you have your first real body paragraph following the introduction and the audience purpose paragraph. In this paragraph, you will go into discussing the rhetorical devices that were used in the essay that you're critiquing. You'll use quotes for each of these paragraphs that explain whatever rhetorical device you are mentioning or stating that you found in the essay. So the first paragraph might start with ethos, because that is one of the more prominent rhetorical devices you found when reading your essay, the essay you're critiquing. And you will start the paragraph by saying the last name of the author and stating whoever they are. Let's in this case say Martin Luther King. King appeals to ethos, ... by doing this. And then you provide a introduction to a quote and provide an example of how King showed ethos in his writing. You will see in this paragraph that there are a couple of different instances or explanations of evidence to support this idea that King used ethos in his argument. Following that, your next paragraphs should do something similar, where each paragraph is devoted to one of the rhetorical appeals or devices that you mentioned in your thesis. So if you discuss ethos in one paragraph, the next paragraph should discuss pathos and provide examples or quotes of that to show the reader why you thought that pathos was being used. And then you will continue that way until you are finished discussing each of the devices or techniques that the author used to be persuasive. And finally, you will come to your conclusion, which we'll talk about in the next content section.